So good morning. Myself, Dr. Srinivas Bachu, Associate Professor and HOD EPC. The last two sessions, we discussed set theory and set theory concepts, and those operators and algebra of sets. And the session 2, we discussed about experiments, the classification, sample space, the classification, and those events and classification. Now we are introducing probability through set theory concepts and probability as a relative frequency and the axiomatic definition. So these things we will discuss in the today's session. Coming to the probability. When we are dealing the experiment, the random one, it will be associated with an amount of uncertainty. So not completely sure about some outcome of the random experiment. That is called amount of uncertainty. Not completely sure about the outcome. It is called amount of uncertainty as to whether a particular event, a result or outcome will or will not occur. So this measure of the chance of getting. So actually this is called chance of getting. It's a three keywords are there. So one is a chance, one is of, one is a getting. So these three keywords are there. Instead of these three keywords, they given probability, chance, of, and getting. So instead of these three keywords, they given chance of getting given as a probability, with which an event can be expected to occur a number between 0 and 1. That should be assigning. Now I'll go to the probability definition systematically. It's called a mathematical and classical definition of the probability. Like I'm taking one experiment. From this experiment, I'll give the definition of the probability. It's a mathematical one and classical one definition. Let us consider an experiment. It is consisting of the n events. Already I discussed what is event. The outcome or result of the random experiment is called event. These n events are said to be exclusive, exhaustive, and equally likely. Means there is no weightage for the particular outcome. Okay, na? And this all events are said to be mutually exclusive. Means there is no joint occurrence. This is disjoint events. Out of these, small m events are favorable to the particular event. That is event of interest. Which event you are interested? Like tossing a fair coin, I am interested in the head. Some other interested on the tail. Like this event, that is event of interest. So m are favorable to the event E out of n number of events. Then the getting of the chance we given as only one keyword. It's called probability of E is the ratio of the favorable number of outcomes or favorable number of cases to the particular event of the experiment to the total number of. The total number is called exhaustive one. That is small m by capital N. Small m is favorable cases and capital N is called exhaustive one. It's a total number. This P of E, the ratio m by n, favorable to the total number of events of the random experiment, E is known as the probability of the event E, P of E. Now we will see some properties of this probability. So now I am considering the success probability. So success is not always truth. You are interested on some particular event, that is called success. So let P be the success probability, that is P of E, event of interest, that is getting of the chance of the. Now failure, failure. So let us consider Q is the failure probability, that is P of E bar. The complement of the E, it's E not E. Not success is called failure. So I want the failure probability, that is a P of E bar, the getting of the chance. Now I am estimating the failure probability. Right. So failure probability P of E bar, that is a Q equal to, right. So small m are favorable cases out of n, right. So which are not favorable to the event, n minus m. This is a not favorable to the event. So that is failure by total number. Can you simplify this one? N by n, you will get here 1 and remaining here m by n. And this ratio small m by n is called the success. So we written here P of E. So P of E is called success probability. P we mentioned. So failure equal to 1 minus success and success equal to 1 minus failure is implies success plus failure is always unity. So this is the probability. We got it from probability. We got it. The success probability lies in between the 0 and 1 are bounded between 0 and 1. Mathematically we denoted as 0 less than or equal to P less than or equal to 1. 0 less than or equal to P less than or equal to 1. Now we will see the axiomatic definition. So an axiom scientist Kolmogov, the Russian mathematician scientist, he developed the axiomatic definition, and he defined systematically some three axioms that are called properties, axioms of the probabilities. So what he done? He took one function, it's a PR function that must satisfy the following properties. This is defined which associate an event is a real number, that is called the probability of the event E. So that must satisfies the events, okay na, that axioms. One, it's called axioms of non-negativity, is always positive. Non-negative means it's always positive. When you are measuring the probability or guessing of the chance of the event is always positive, that must be bounded or lies in between 0 and 1. This is called axioms of non-negativity. Mathematically we mentioned 0 less than or equal to P of E less than or equal to 1. E is event, probability notation we mentioned capital P. Next, axioms of certainty. Axioms of certainty. Certain, completely sure about something. Completely sure about something. So it's 100%. So that is P of S equal to 1. Okay na? S is called sample space. Sample space means as the collection of the distinct outcomes of the random experiment. It's called sample space. So maybe success events are there, failure events are there. Success event probability is success probability and failure probability is there. When you are summing of this all, it must be 1. So that's why P of S is always 1. Where S is the sample space. Now coming to the last axiom, it's additivity. Axioms of additivity. If two events A and B are mutually exclusive means disjoint. Disjoint means their intersection is always null set. The corresponding probability is 0. There are now favorable cases to the event intersection B. Okay, now event A intersection B. So 0 events favorable cases. 0 by total it's always 0. 0 by something is always 0. So P of A and B equal to P of A plus P of B. So this is the axioms of additivity. So these three are the axioms of additivity. Professor A N Kolmogov, he developed this one. All any P of function, any P of event E must satisfy these three axioms. Coming to this one, the mathematical model. Right, we already discussed about experiment, probability definition and axioms. Very good. When you are taking any problem means as experiment in the probability theory. So what is the mathematical model for this experiment? A real experiment is defined mathematically by three things. First thing is you need to assignment of the sample space. You are taking any experiment, assignment of the sample space. You need to assign the space. First you see how many outcomes are possible that are distinct to one. You write all together, it seems. It's collection of the distinct possibilities of the experiment. That is assignment of the sample space. Once assignment is finished, then you go for the defining event of interest. Which event you are interested, that event you need to define. Like events of interest you need to define as per the problem requirement. Once definition is over, you need to making the probabilities. You have to make the probabilities assignments to the event of interest such that axioms are preserved as satisfied. So this way we are estimating or we are writing the mathematical model of the any random experiment. Clear? So we saw the probability and the axioms and the mathematical model for the experiments. Now I told you the probability as relative frequency, and this real time for the real experiments it's not possible. For some cases it's possible, that will mention here. I will take experiment E, a repeated n times. Let A and B are the two events associated with the experiment E. Let small n suffix A, small n suffix B be the number of times. So n suffix A times, n suffix B times that the event A and B occurred among n repetitions of this experiment respectively. Then my relative frequency of the event A, okay na, in n repetitions is f suffix A is equals to the ratio of the n suffix A by n. The same manner favorable cases. Same thing here, we are writing here limiting n tends to infinity extra we are writing here. So this n means that this n should be the infinitely larger. It's not equals to infinity, infinitely larger. 1 billion times, 1 trillion times. You are performing experiments like tossing a fire can 1 billion times, 1 trillion times. Like this infinitely larger. So this limit n tends to infinity, n suffix A by n. Okay, it should not equals to infinity, infinitely larger. So that is a ratio with respect of the limitation of this n tends to infinity, is called relative frequency, and this relative frequency function must satisfy the following properties. Same as like axioms we mentioned, always bounded between 0 and 1, and this is equals to 1. The frequency must be 1 when if and only if the event occurs every time among n repetitions. Like in the deterministic case we mentioned, sun rises from, I am experiment conducting today, sun rises from east, tomorrow also east. Any day you perform this experiment, is always the outcome is east. So this is happens in any day. The sun rises is always 100% east only. Okay, 100% east only. So 100% means, as we are treating as conventionally 1 indicating, that is 100 by 100 is 1. So this relative frequency also 1. Never occurs among n repetitions. The event never occurs among n repetitions. That is called 0. We are treating is, these are the relative frequency properties. Like events we saw, like maybe we discussed about mutually exclusive. So disjoint, maybe some cases joint occurrence is there. Okay, na? Joint occurrence is there. Like I will take example, the class boys and girls, two types of events are there. Okay, now boy students, girl students are there. B indicates for the boys, G indicates for the girls. I am taking one of the different event as a smoker. S is a smoker, right? So boys intersection of the smokers. I am selecting one student. The student must be the boy student is a smoker. Like this joint occurrence may happens. Like G intersection S. I am selecting a student. The student must be the girl, must be a smoker. May chance. So like this, joint occurrences are there, right? So which are the events? If any two events are not mutually exclusive, so joint occurrence is there. Means as common elements are there, common portion is there, then this will happen. Which one? Simultaneous or joint occurrence of the non-exclusive events. Now we'll see the definition and formula as per the Venn diagram notation. If any two events, capital A and B, have the common elements, common portion, common objects, common events, then it forms a joint or simultaneous occurrence. Like tossing a fair coin, it shows a head or tail. I am taking and designed a coin, both sides are designed as a head will show and tail will show. Then occurrence is there, joint occurrence is there. That is joint occurrence of the head and tail is there. It is not a fair coin, it is a biased coin. Okay, na? Unbiased coin. Like I mentioned here, A intersection B is the joint occurrence. Mathematically we know A intersection B is the joint event. The probability of the joint event is called joint probability for the events A and B which intersects in the sample space. As per the Venn diagram, I will show the Venn diagram here. This is my square or rectangular sample space notation, and A is the one set. This is A set, like as A event, B set, like as B event. Okay, na? Some portion is there. This portion, its intersection part of these two events. That is I mentioned here, joint occurrence. From this Venn diagram, okay, na? P of A intersection B, the probability of this joint occurrence or joint event is equals to the P of A, this entire portion, P of A, plus P of B. When I am repeating this one, P of B, now what happened here you see? So this portion is repeating. Which portion? Okay, na? This intersection portion is repeating. Already covered this one. Minus of. That's why I am repeating. Okay, whichever portion is repeated, that I am subtracting. Minus of P of union B. Okay, na? Minus of P of union B. So this is a P of A intersection B equal to P of A plus P of B minus P of B. Equivalently, P of A and B is always less than or equal to P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. If and only if case A and B are mutually exclusive, disjoint is there, this term is vanishes. If term is vanishes, this is maybe is equals to, that is P of A plus P of B. Otherwise it's not equals to, it must be less than or equal to, okay, less than or equal to P of A plus. Clear? Now I am stopping the topic here. So up to the joint probability we covered in the today's session. Okay, na? Probability, the probability definition, axiomatic, mathematical model, relative frequency, and joint probability we discussed. The next session we will discuss the conditional probability, total probability theorem, and Bayes theorem, and those problems related to the joint, conditional, all these probabilities. Okay, na? We will discuss.